It started out just like any other day when my world crashed down and I was
Hello, everybody. Took me a little longer to get started today. I was messing around with a few things. This afternoon, we did a stream. Very productive. And we ended here, far away from home, because I had forgotten to bring an ender chest. I only have 7 obsidian. I don't have ender pearls or blaze rods with me. So I have to either abandon my gear, which I'm not doing, or I have to work my way back to spawn, or I can look for creepers and get some gunpowder and then get some sugarcane, craft some rockets, and fly home. So I'm going around the forest looking for some mobs. There's a creeper. The more gunpowder I get, the better. I am going to turn hostile mob sounds up while I'm in this forest. Hopefully they're not too loud. That's interesting. I haven't seen the wolf variants before. Would have creeped me out for a second. But that's okay. Don't explode. Don't explode. I need to kill you. At 4. So for every creeper I kill, or every gunpowder I get, I could get 3 rockets. And I don't need more than a handful to get me back home. You have looting on this, right? Do. I'm also kind of going along the coastline because I need to find sugarcane because I don't have that on me either. So I need to find that. But, you know, that's a lot easier to find than the creepers themselves. Plus, I can do that during the day. So right now, I'm focusing on the creepers. That's the 9. Ooh, zombie. Oh crap, what is getting me? Gotta be a skeleton shooting at me. Damn it. Alright, so that changes my plans. Okay, make it easier. I'll go home, get to my ender chest, get it one of my backup elytras, fly over and grab my... Even if I had the ender chest, I wouldn't have been able to get in here because apparently I left that out. That's why I was missing. I thought I was missing a box last time. That's probably why. I need a silk pick, so that's good. Take an ender chest with me. All right, so what did I say? It was minus 2,500 to 2,000 is where we decided. It's this way. Stack of rockets should get me there. I have my ender chest if I need to grab more. I did put my rockets inside there. So we're all good. I haven't really thought what I want to do yet today. We're pretty set on the end for now. My enchants are okay. I could probably work on making a little bit more gear, just kind of sorting out what I have. I could fix the villagers I have over here. Because these got zombified. I could continue to work on villager trading. I could work on building a proper mob farm. Lots of things I could do. Lots. I do enjoy the start of Worlds because there's just so many things you can work on. One of the reasons I like resetting, but I need to go to positive Z. That's this way. So I was going right on the X, but I was going wrong on the Z. No big deal. We'll correct it. I'm going to actually go up quite a bit so that I can kind of post. I'm working on scheduling out my streaming schedule for the future. I just recently have decided that I'm going to try very hard to stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for at least 2 hours at the same time. Do that for a while and see if that helps to grow a community for us to do the things. It probably won't be starting until June because I'm still moving until the end of the month and I'm in process, but we still have a lot to do. We're doing good. We're getting right along with everything, but it's a lot still. I think maybe a mob farm is the way I could go. Or I could work on a witch farm. I haven't done a witch farm in a while. Either way, I want something that gives me gunpowder. I like having infinite rockets. There's another village. All right, so it was 2,500, 2,000 basically. So over this mountain should be there. But yeah, like right here. Minus 2,500. Should put it on armor because I should have thought about the fact that it's going to be nighttime by the time I get there. Whatever. Actually noon, but we should be okay. This seems dark because it's raining. So 1,900 minus 2,500. So it's more this way? It all looks the same. Minus 25, 22. There it is. Found it. Found my stuff. Now we don't have to worry about hunting creepers because we got everything. All right, we're good. I think I got everything. Nothing else is around. Head back. Ooh, there's an ice spike biome here. I might grab some ice real quick. Tiny. That's okay. I don't mind tiny. What she said. I don't want to do like the actual design for a mob farm. I've done plenty of times. Like I don't need to use a design for that. I know how the basic mechanics of it work, but I've seen lots of times where people do the redstone using boats, and I've never understood how that works. Like I do understand like it's using activators to set it off, but thought that might be interesting to try to figure out, or at least figure out some kind of new mechanism to do it. But what's got me thinking about that is let's put this down, grab an empty shulker box, put all this stuff inside of it. I'm good. I could use ice for the floors for a flushing mob farm. And if you've never seen that before, basically it uses the dispensers to put out water periodically, and you time it so that there's enough time for all the mobs to spawn to fill the cap, and then once the cap is full, all the mobs get flushed out of the farm, and you time it, the water being there just long enough that it pushes everybody to the edge, and then you turn the water back off, and you just rotate it so that it does the just perfect amount of time so that the mobs fill the cap, it flushes the mobs out, the mobs drop down, mobs die, and then that means that you have effectively maxed out your potential for the farm. And the only thing you can do to make it do any better is by making it larger so that the mob cap gets filled faster. If you do it correctly, there's no way to make him... Ooh. Fell off the top of that. There's no way to make it go any faster from the killing part of it because you're flushing them down and killing them as fast as you possibly can. But you can get it to fill the cap back up faster and reactivate. That's where the efficiency comes. I don't need super efficient. I am never going to claim that I am somebody who is like really good at making farms work the fastest they possibly can. It's just never going to happen. But I do enjoy trying to strive for that stuff and failing. I also like the fact that I've been playing this game long enough that I can if not like know what I'm doing to a really good extent, at least I can understand how the mechanics work enough that I can put together from the idea of a farm. Like I can watch somebody's idea and I don't have to follow it block to block. Will it be as efficient as theirs? No. Will it work in the same concept? Absolutely. Let me think about how I'm going to do this. If I'm going to do a flushing farm, then the pads are basically 8x8 blocks, which is 64 blocks. So each stack of these represents one full pad. And so I already have more than enough for what I need for that, because I think the last one I built, I did it with 10 pads. But now that I have Mini HUD installed, I could actually build one that maximizes my spawning spaces. And so we can find a place where we want to build this thing, and then I can use Mini HUD to kind of design it from there. But basically what that means is, and I've done this a little bit through this playthrough on the stream, Mini HUD lets me put down spawning spheres to mark from this spot where will mobs spawn and not spawn and things like that. And in the case of a flushing farm, and the reason that it's so powerful is I don't need the mobs to move. The farm I built the other day just to get a little bit of gunpowder, it required 100% on the mobs moving around. So the mobs spawned, they moved around, and because they didn't know that there was a drop, they fell into my water chutes, and then they got pushed into the middle. They got flushed down to the bottom, and they died. It worked. It was cheap to build, but it was slow. It takes a long time for the mobs to die. In this case, if the mobs spawn in, as long as they spawn in and they don't despawn, so they're sitting there taking up the mob cap, they will get flushed out. And when I push them over the edge and let them drop, they still won't despawn, and so then they will die. Try to grab all this ice. I don't want to lose any of this, because I don't have another ice biome at the moment. So this is what I got. I can always look up on Chunkbase where one is, but... and I will at some point. For now, let's get whatever we can from this little mountain here. Take the whole thing down. Zombie nearby me just converted to drown. Probably the one that was over there on the sand. He tried to get to me. He got stuck under the water and turned into a drown. Which means not gonna have a trident. But I don't care about it. Our inventory is full. Need another shulker box. I've officially decided to call this series Under Construction with Ender. I don't know if you've seen that on the thumbnail that I made, but I think that's a fun name. It stems from the idea that everything is under construction. Everything is temporary in Minecraft. Everything. Even if your world is going to last forever, it's still always under construction. That is the nature of the game. And, you know, what I love about it. Definitely want to dig down into this mountain, because there may be some blue ice in here. And while I have enough packed ice that I can craft blue ice now, it would be nice to find some naturally spawning ones, just because it's a ton of ice. Every packed ice is 9 ice. Every one of these blue ice is 81 ice blocks. So having some that I can dig up naturally, it's pretty epic. Saves me a lot of trouble. Looks like this regular ice is just forming because of the cold, which is pretty cool too. Uh-oh, I don't have any arrows on me. That was a poorly planned thing. I usually... This is just going to be me ranting for a minute, but I think that they should make it so that there is an enchant separate from Infinity. You can make it an expensive enchant if you want, but make it so it's Endless Quiver. And all it will do is make it so that when you have Infinity, you don't need to carry a single arrow. You can make it so that your bow has an arrow on it. I don't know if it should be separate from Infinity or not. Maybe it should just be part of Infinity, but it'll make Infinity just that much more awesome. Because when you have Infinity, you just need to put that arrow in. It takes up one of your inventory slots. And one of the biggest complaints in this game, the biggest complaint in all games, but this game especially, is the inventory. Because of the fact that there's just so many things that you need in your inventory. So infinity is great that you don't need to carry stacks upon stacks of arrows. But the fact that you need to carry any is sort of drives you crazy. So I really think that they should make it so that there is a vanilla mechanic that makes it so that you can have infinite arrows without actually having that first arrow. So infinity, as it is now, it just doesn't consume an arrow. It should make one that is endless quiver. You could even expand it and make it so that there's a way to do it. I don't know how you could do it balanced, but make it so you could do that with different arrow types. So that you can use infinity on like a potioned arrow, but that would be super OP, and I get that. But infinity doesn't work on different arrow types now. So this wouldn't have to. So you could still keep it balanced. There are mods that do this, what I'm talking about too, and that's where I first saw it and thought this is really great. I don't know who made the mod, otherwise I would give them credit, but in there they make it OP. Like you can make it so that all your arrow types are infinite using enchants or some mechanism, and then all you have to do is select which arrow type you're using, and that's pretty awesome. But I wonder if the reason they don't is because it would be like for PvE playing, like when you're it just negates the inventory problem, because you know you can have infinite arrows as long as you want, as long as you have enough arrows with you. It works fine. And realistically, once you have more than a few stacks of arrows, you're not going to use them all in a single session. And since you can store them in an ender chest a shulker box in your ender chest, you can have arrows infinitely, even without any enchant. So it's just a way to make it easier. But I guess in PvP, being able to have arrows forever is limiting for PvP. But I get in most PvP situations, you just make it so you can't use that enchant. Like, it's not like the PvP in this game is like really built into the game. It's more like that's something that you go and play specifically on a server that has that set up. So I think that having that enchant in vanilla would be fine, because those servers would just disable that enchant. So I don't think that's really an issue. All right, I think that's good enough for now. Put down an entire iceberg. Pretty lucrative too. It gave us like a shulker box and a half full of packed ice. I'm not going to complain about that at all. And there's more here if I need to come get it. See, so this is that right way on the Z, wrong way on the X. I want to go towards 0, 0, which is northwest. Is that right? No, north. It should be southeast, right? I get so confused. Let's see. East is lower on the X. And north is lower on the Z. So northeast is what I want. Just seems counterintuitive. Okay. Oh, I put all my food inside the ender chest. I was gonna like get up here and just kind of drift while I ate food. I don't have any food. Sorry, we'll just do it when we get back. Spawn is around 0-0. It's not at close. Eventually, I'll put a hub point 0-0, where that's where the main entry into the Nether hub is, and then that way I can just always go back to 0-0 and navigate through the Nether to wherever I want to be. So that's why I always kind of think of going to 0-0. How I always set it up. Now we're recognizing stuff. Food. Okay, so I'm done in the end, so I'm going to put away my golden carrots for now. Because I do not need fancy food. And I'm not doing fancy stuff. Not quite ready to switch over to the tire. Grab another one of these. Put all the ice in. Okay, we made it back home. We're safe. Let's see, how much iron did we get? We got some in here while we were doing stuff. Oh, we blew through that quick. That got us over a stack of emeralds. So that's pretty decent. Let's see where we are at with stuff. So, as far as books go, I want to organize this a little bit. Let's grab another empty box. This is going to be mending. So anything mending going in here. We have more than I thought. I do want to use some of these emeralds. And do I have any more emeralds at the moment? There's some in here. I want to go to my unbreaking guy here. He's 33. I'm not going to get many out of this. Hey, at least it's a few. It'll be fine. We'll get him his price down eventually. Put those in here too. So this is my mending / unbreaking books. What I should work on, because this is what I went out there for in the first place, one of these boxes I put all those dies in. Or did I put them in a chest up here? Go check that out. I think I put them in a chest up at the spawn. I did. Okay, so red, orange, yellow, blue, so we still have green and cyan. What else am I missing? Oh, green, lime, and cyan. Green, lime, and cyan. So we still need to get to a desert. That's what we were working on before. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I had a important text I had to do. What did I accidentally hit there? That's under Gamma Utilities. Right Did I hit right arrow or something? Oh. Didn't even know that was a thing. This is what it normally looks like. This is what the Fulbright stuff does. I installed that specifically because I stream, and it's especially on YouTube. Sometimes it gets very dark. Anyway, yeah, I was dealing with something for my landlord, so I need to get to a desert. So let's find that. That's what we were working on in the first place, and I never made it because I'm a dirt. Rocket box. Good, I still have the map up. Highlight biome. Desert. $600, $1,600. That's much closer than where I was going anyway. Why was I going so far away in the first place? Again, goes back to the dirt. 600. That would be this way on the X. That way. That's what I should have just thought of that. It's probably over here past the jungle because the biomes go with each other. So hot biomes spawn near each other. So if I had just gone over here towards this jungle and headed that direction, I would have gotten to a desert eventually. What am I trying to get to? 600, 1,600. So it's this way and more this way. Cool. So I just have to go across this jungle and we should be good. Another project that would be fun to get started is designing that point at spawn. So at spawn, what I want to build is an entrance to the Nether hub. So I want to make something pretty fancy to show that that's like a junction point. And then I also want it to be build a map room there, and then I want to start mapping out the world from there using maps. So getting there's a village here. Let's check out this blacksmith before we head path. I don't really need anything from him. Oh, this is one of the cursed villages or zombie villages or whatever they call them. That's pretty cool. I don't really need any loot from here, but like I still enjoy finding loot. So again, this is not looking correct. When I click on here, it says 600, 1,700 should be a desert. Well, I must have something wrong with my seed. Oh, no, there it is. 600, 1,600. I just didn't go far enough. Oh, and it's a bit of a badland. Doesn't look like much, but I'm not here for like a huge thing. I just want to grab cacti. So we're good. But while we're here, let's might as well grab a little bit of sand. This one has mending. Let's use that one. This is a pretty fairly decent sized desert. It continues for a couple thousand blocks around the coast. I don't know that I want to dig too much here because I don't know yet where I'm going to build, and I might want, this is kind of close to spawn. It's, 1,000 blocks away from spawn. And so if I decide I want to build a sand village, which I will at some point, I want to build something with a sand theme. This might be the desert I do, and I don't want to like decimate it. So I'm just going to grab a little bit just because I want to have some. And as far as the mesa section goes, like this is really tiny. I could empty this out and remove it and I wouldn't care. And that'd be fine. There's also a warm ocean there, which is good to know. If we can find a warm ruins there, we could get sniffers. I don't even know what they do. I just know that you get them from warm ruins and like you get some plants from them. And so I've never done them, so I feel like I want to do them, but I don't know that they're useful. But it's good to know where the things are. Let's just take one more layer down here because this will still look pretty natural. What I'll do is at some point I'll find a desert that's far away for if I want to harvest sand. Though what I really do typically is I get set up with villagers where I can purchase glass. That way I don't have to harvest large amounts of sand, which means that the sand that I do dig up is just when I want to use sand and sandstone. So I am definitely the type of player that likes to make things renewable as possible, because that's half the fun of the game to me. Building crazy farms to big, massive amounts of stuff in. That's Minecraft to me. I know it's not to everybody. Some people build just what they need for building because they're more into building, or they're more into the redstone, or they're more into the PvP. And I think that is what has made this game as successful as it has become. It's that it is a lot of game. There's not just one thing you do in Minecraft. And I think it's also what makes it so hard to define the game to people that don't play it, or people that don't know like what you do when you play it. Because it's like every time I log into Minecraft, I'm doing something different. So I can't tell you like what I'm going to be doing today, because you never know. Another big news that I just thought of is I just officially decided to become a premium member with Restream. Restream is what I use to broadcast to multiple things at one time. So I'm live on Twitch and I'm live on YouTube right now. I'm considering going to some other platforms too, just to broaden the reach a little. Restream lets me do that. So I do one stream out on my connection. It goes directly to Restream, and then Restream takes that stream and it sends it to YouTube at the correct rate that I need, and it sends it to Twitch at the correct rates that I need, which means that I can be on both of them without having to encode two different streams, which is really important. Let's put this sand up here. Okay, so we really got to decide what we're going to work on today. I don't really want to work on villagers. We just did a bunch of that recently. I think that the mob farm is a good idea because it would be really nice to have. I just have to decide where I want it to be. I kind of want it near here because it's like an AFK-able thing. I might just put it in the sky right above all this, We could center it right over the middle of this section. Let's do that. Let's grab some blocks. And first we'll find where we're gonna build the thing. Okay, and then we're gonna need ladders. Probably gonna need even more than that, because I'm gonna build up pretty far. Let's make some ladders. I think that should be okay. That's 200. We're already at 70, so 270. We don't go... That won't get us all the way to the build height, but I don't think I'm going to go all the way to the build height. I don't need you. We were working on the dyes. So sand. Don't need sand for the sugarcane, but I do need it for the cactus. Let's do section for sand for cactus. So we're gonna put, it'll be the same pattern as this one. But I don't need nearly as much. Actually, no, it won't be the same pattern as this one. What am I thinking? Cactus just needs to grow in a pattern where it's not going to touch each other. We'll have to make an automatic cactus farm at some point. But for now, I just need to put this down. Pattern, the farm that uses the same pattern as this is if I want to make a max efficiency place to grow saplings. Like if I put down an oak farm, and I put light down where I have the water sources instead of water, then we get the maximum growth because every sapling will have light next to it, which means we can grow the maximum amount without having any get trapped from growing on the inside. I'm gonna borrow you for a second. All right, so the cactus is down there growing. I should have grabbed a bunch of it. I don't know why I didn't do that. Wasn't thinking. But whatever, I have it growing. Just need a couple of them. Let's use one of them a while. We'll just let that one grow. And then I'll do the rest later. There's my green dye. Then I need 2 more of these for that. You can't bone meal cactus, can you? I'm almost positive you can't. But there's so many things that have happened in this game where like I thought for sure, and then it had changed, so yeah, you can't. You know what? I'm gonna fly back to that desert because I really want more cactus, and I don't know why I didn't grab more. It was just me being dumb, which does happen. Surprising. We're gonna need to build a mob farm just because we're gonna have used up all the gunpowder before I get done flying back and forth. Ooh. That's a pretty cool find. Finding a jungle temple without actually looking it up. I remember finding these the first time I ever found them in Minecraft. I'm thinking how cool it was that there was like these actual dungeons you could find, and how great it was going to be able to like raid them, and then it was just this. I do like the fact that they did this so that there's this treasure. Oop. And then you're like, I figured out the treasure. And sometimes, you know, somebody might have been like, that's it. I found the treasure and I can leave. And didn't realize that this was a thing. I've never actually figured out how to actually open these. Is there a specific thing? So that one powers that one. Oh, so that's what did it to get into here. It was simpler than I thought. I'll take the free redstone. And it used to be cool to find them because of the moss, because other than dungeons and these, mossy cobblestone was rare, but now you can make it. And it also spawns in the taigas, the mega taigas. So I guess that's cool. I like things being renewable, but like it was cool back in the day when like you found these because you could show off all the mossy cobblestone you had. It was like a way to show, hey, I've explored a lot in my world. What did I say it was again? It was like 600, 1700. So here, and then I just need to go across the jungle this way. There it is. Doing the map stuff will also make it so like my world seems more complete, because I'll be able to see where things are in relation to each other, which is pretty awesome. I don't need more than a handful, but I'm just going to grab a bunch. That way I can stick it over there. We'll make a farm at some point. I also don't want to take it all because, like, you know, there are times later on where I'm like, I need cactus and I can just fly to where a desert is. I don't ever like to take everything from it, even when I'm playing single player, just because I might be like, I need to go get more and I don't want to go to my farm because I built it far away, or I accidentally used the last of it and my farm's broken because I got frustrated and burned it to the ground or something. I don't know. And leaving some of the natural resources so I can just go back and grab more is always a good idea. Replant. Hey, there's another village that I didn't see. These are pretty neat. The acacia ones, the savanna villages. And it's good to know this is here because eventually one project I want to do is setting up the network where I can spawn villagers in all the different biomes. And right here, there's a couple different ones, so I could build a villager breeder that gives me several different ones, which would be super helpful. The idea for that is that I want to be able to have villagers with different skins and use them, you know, be able to go into a system I have in the Nether and then just cart them around to wherever I want them to be and use them to populate build. Which makes things fun. Making the world interactive, you know? This way that I need, where's my spawn? I always get lost in my own world. Heck, there it is. I thought it was this way, but for some reason I was thinking I was at the positive X over here. That's the negative. That's fine. Perfect. I should title today ADD. ADHD. Because that is what is going on today. Because I'm doing like 20 different. Let's put this in here. So I need to combine white with green. And then I need to combine one of these blue with green. Combine it too. And now I have all the dye colors. Let's grab a couple more of the green though. 3 of them, more to be exact. Pick them up. All right, so this is working good again now with the iron. Oh, I'm out of iron. I was like, why can't I get more? Duh. All those villagers just having a grand old time in there. They're loving it. Don't act like I'm exploiting them. They love it. Their favorite time. Oh, wanted to grab some poppies. Because now that I've gotten all the dyes, I kind of want to make a stack of all the dyes. Or at least more than just one of each. Let's do more white. Some pink. Turn the rest of these ink sacs into black. Turn the rest of these into grays. I should save a cocoa bean. I didn't set up a cocoa bean farm yet. Kind of want more than just the one. I never remember if this is true. Do I need to put cocoa bean? I have to put on wood, but do I have to put it on jungle wood? Ew. I don't know that I grabbed any jungle wood. I did. Good enough. I plant these just like I do with the other stuff. Yeah. I thought so. There we go. Cocoa farm done. This I'll just use another. Oops. Another thing of lapis. I know that there is ways to get renewable dye without using lapis. I can do cornflower, but I don't have cornflower, and so that is what we're getting. Take some of this and combine it with some of this. Make some more gray. Purple, I just need to combine some of these. That's good. So now I have at least 2 of every one of them. The reason I wanted to do that is because I want to work on setting up side shulker boxes. So let's put these down. It's time that I had a proper system for my first proper storage system, which is my Ender storage sorting system. So the very first one I do, I just get 16 shulker boxes. One of these I already died. That's this one. Those can all stay down there like that. And then I'm going to need to craft 2 more, but we'll get to that. We'll get that when we get to that. So then let's look at what I have. This is a vault box. I think I'm going to make that black this time. So to dye it, all we got to do is do this. We're going to call this our vault. And I always put an E at the beginning of the name. Oh, I know. This is something that goes to my ender chest. E vault. And then let's rename this E tools. This one is going to be the library. And library, so when I've used black, I've used white. This one I'm going to use for wood. I think I'm going to use that for something and that for something. Let's do cyan for the library. I don't know why, but let's do it. And so this is not going to have my enchanted books in it. This is for me to keep extra books, extra lecterns, extra bookshelves, and we can throw books that are important in there for it. The ones here that have these extra books, grab these other shulker boxes. Have any empty ones? That's actually one we're going to use. That's one we're going to use. Let's put this one in here, back in the mix. And then let's get rid of this one. We'll put this here. Put that one there. Is there any other empties? No, I just put that in there, but that is... is not how I meant to do it. Okay, so these books, I'm gonna take them to the end, and I'm gonna start building my actual enchanted book library down there. That's empty. That's empty. Then this one has like junk gear in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna empty this out and put it into a thing in here. Chest. Now this can be my junk iron gear. Stuff that I want to keep because I might find a use for it, but I don't need to have it on me. I just need to have it somewhere. And so I'm going to put it here for now, because eventually it will go into my storeroom that I don't have yet. So those are all empty. These are ones that I'm taking to the end. Cool. So we have 3 done. And we have 13 more to go, but I think I have more than 13 over here. It's 8, 11, 14. So one of these needs to be cleared out. This can come out. And we'll put that empty one away. We have to figure out where we're going to store our shulker shells. Typically what I do is I keep at least 1 stack in here so I can make them on the go. And then the rest of them, let's just store them here at spawn. Normally I like to keep them somewhere inside my ender chest. That's because normally I play on servers and I don't want people to just raid my stuff. Sometimes people do. Okay, so this is going to be my food box. So the refrigerator. And then we need a color for that. And I like gray. Because gray looks like a stainless steel refrigerator. Or not really. Looks more like a matte black refrigerator. But that's the one I would typically use, and so that's the one we're going to use. We need a color for our rocket box. And I think yellow says I'm going to fly fast. I don't know why, but I think it does. And so the idea here is that now I start organizing things, and in my brain, not only can I easily look through and find it by the name and know what's in it, but I can start associating the yellow with the rockets. And so when I need to get rockets out quickly, I can just go to my ender chest, find the yellow, and I can get refueled on my rockets. Don't need all these ender pearls in here. In the ender chest. So let's get them out. Same thing with the ice. I want the ice, but I don't need it to be stored on me at all time. Let's make a box for that. I'm going to put these ladders away in the wood box for right now. I need more space on me. So I have 4. I have 5. That's good. Okay, so this is going to be my treasures. This is for like rare stuff that I want to keep on me in case I want to use it, but like it's not like super rare. So for now, trims are going to go in there. Dragon egg stays in here. Extra loot that I need. So let's put in. Actually, no, I'm going to make a loot box, so that's fine. All these things are good for that. I like purple for this because purple is my favorite color. Okay. Wood is a pretty easy one. Because wood and brown just makes sense. So what else have I used here? So now I've used that. I've used that. I also used the yellow. I used the cyan. One thing I could definitely do, and go through and find some stuff to put in this box to get it started, is a redstone box. Stone. And this is something that I will work on building as we go. But for now, I can get it started with some of this stuff. But pretty much, I just want to have a place where I can put my redstone that I need to take with me at all times. So that is obviously pretty easy to think that redstone box is red. So when I need redstone, I get the redstone box. Oh, I named it wrong. So we're halfway through. Is that how we are in here too? Did I mess something up? Yeah, we're halfway through there and we're halfway through here. The head collection, I don't think I want to keep it in here. So let's grab, like, I want to keep it, obviously. But I think I'm going to put a place for it. Let's put an empty shulker in here. And this can be one of the ones I need to deliver. I don't know where I'm going to deliver this yet. But we're going to build a place for our heads. A head. It'll probably be at our storeroom when we get one done. Okay, so this is our armory. So in here we had a toolbox. This is going to be the armor. And then I'm going to go with blue for it. And I think another thing that I want to do is this is tools. I'm going to make a weapon box. And I'm going to put the axes in with the weapons. It's a tough call sometimes because they can be both. And I use them for both. But just for space sake, we're going to make you light blue. Boom. So put you here, put you there. We're getting there. We're making our way through all of these. I think what I'm going to do is in the weapon box, I'm going to leave some space for arrows. I'm just going to put 3 stacks of arrows on the end. That way I know I can always grab them out of the weapon box. And then these can get put in here. I have an ice box over here. Top, no, this one. And then this one. Oh, this is the one that had the Unbreaking books in. So that's another one that's going to get delivered, which means I need another empty shulker box over here. Empty, 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 empty. And then this is just stuff I need to sort. So let's do that. No, this goes in the rocket box. That's right. I decided I was going to try to keep my elytras in with the rockets. Vault is black. Problem is I've done this a couple times before and I've used different systems each time. And so like I'm probably going to start off by grabbing the wrong things, which is okay. It's not a big deal. I will figure it out as I go. I'll use those to make some more rockets quick. So I'm going to leave those out. Yeah, so I think we're done. So this is, let's put these back in. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 of these. So all we need to do now is dye each of these. And none of these have names yet because I don't have anything to put in them yet. I haven't thought of a thing that needs to go with me. But that one still needs to be finished and getting emptied out. And then the last thing I use is an empty box here. And this is going to be, this is how I did it before. And I think I'm going to do it again. E. Shulker shell. So I like having them on me. I like having a lot of them. I'm not going to leave them here. Because in case I don't ever want to run out of having them. And then the goal will be to fill this up completely. And then those will be the ones there. So actually this could be like that. And so really I have 17 colors because the default shulker color is a color as well. So I have 16 colors plus this one for the more shulker shells. I do need this one out for a second because I need 1, 2, 3, 4 more shulker boxes. Means I need 8 more shells. And I need to craft 8 more shulker boxes. Oh no, I need 16 more shells, so I need 8 more. 2 for each one. Duh. No, I was right. I'm so dumb sometimes. Alright, and they can stay there. But so all of these, I put the ender chest there, and then these 9 are ones where I use them for moving things around temporarily. So they're like temporary storage. And so what I do is I just name this, not the cherry log, name this E1. This one can be E2. This one can be E3. Oh, I'm out of it. I'm out of levels. We'll have to do this down at the Enderman Farm or somewhere else where I get more levels. But so these all get named E1 through 9. And then I know if they're sitting around, they'll have miscellaneous junk in them. And then I know where they go. So if I forget them somewhere, and then I just, I end up forgetting them all over the place. And that is part of the... And so now all of this stuff, I can decide what is necessary to keep in here at all times. And I'll slowly come up with the rest of these. So these ones that are empty, let's move these around a little bit. The vault can go up there. Refrigerator can go there. Redstone. Kind of want it to be armor with that. This can go there. Let's do it like that. And then these are all empty. They haven't been named yet. So I have those 6 left to go, but these go. So every time I'm thinking, hey, I wish I had that in my ender chest, the first thing I should be thinking about is, do I already have a box where it can go? And then after that, I should be like, okay, I do. If I don't have a box, what else goes with this kind of theme for me to do it? Oh, and one other thing I want to make. I'm going to use purple for this, so it might get confusing. It always has in the past, but this is just going to be... Oh, I can't name it right now. So this is for me to keep in my inventory. I keep things like this in it, and it slowly it gets built up. So like tools that like I might be using regularly enough that I want to be able to grab them, stay in there. So like this, still have a lot of stuff here that could go places easily. These kind of things can all stay in here. I usually keep a water bucket. Actually, I usually keep 2 water buckets because then I always have water with me because I can put down an infinite supply, and then I keep a couple extra buckets. It's really nice for when I'm building something and I need water. I just throw it down, I put water all over the place. Then I pick up 2 more water buckets, put it back in, put the buckets away, and I'm done. And I always end up crafting extra buckets, so then I just have, until I get to the point where I've made more than 16, I can just throw them in there. The same thing, I usually keep lava in here because it's useful. Let's get rid of this water. And this can go in. So lots and lots of things to figure out. Armory or weapons is light blue. Put those in there. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of me just kind of figuring that stuff out as I go and deciding where to put the stuff. But that's half the fun. So yeah, so I'm not going to mess around with it right now. I'm just going to let it figure out as I go along. For now, I'm going to grab the paper here, though. Oh, and this is some redstone stuff. That's easy. Why did I not see that while I was doing the redstone box? There's some loot stuff. Okay. All right. Last one. So backpack leads go in there. Vault. That's pretty obvious. I have some diamonds and stuff that I found. The library, which I think was... I don't remember. Oh, cyan. Put the paper in there. And then redstone is obviously red. So all these redstone items go in there. Cool. Things are pretty organized now. Grab the toolbox, which is... Tools are white. Awesome. So I do need to bring an arrow out, because I still want an infinite bow. And I also need an ender chest to stable. We did it! We did the thing! Go to the end for a little bit. Go to the end with some food for a little bit. That wasn't the most exciting stuff, but I feel more organized now. And so that helps. I love having the G full bright thing because it's like having a flashlight in the nether. And yes, I think it's cheaty too. But it's better than you guys seeing dark screens when you're watching this on YouTube. Oh, here's a good use case for what we're doing. So I'm wandering around and I have miscellaneous junk I have left somewhere that I don't want to be left there anymore. I grab one of these extra cases, grab it, put it back in my inventory. And actually, just put all that stuff in there. Then I can just be like, whoop, there we go. Oh, some of this I can actually, I like to keep furnaces in here. I like to keep a bed in here. Chests I keep in here already, so they're there. Crafting tables I keep in here. The rest of this is stuff that just needs to be sorted. So now I can put my backpack back in its slot. And I can put this back in there. And then now I have it so that it's ready to go when I need it. I'm going to put some fuel in there too. Keep that stock. I don't need to pick one because I'm putting that down. Yeah, there, I just cleaned up that little area very quickly. Just kept moving, and as long as I keep up with it and make sure I empty out and sort my ender chest into a storeroom at some point, then it's good. Problem is I don't have a storeroom right now, so I need to work on that. So I'm down here for two things. One, I need some more levels. Wait a minute. I must have the wrong sword. I do. Weapons are in light blue. Need this one. Yeah. I know you're all mad because I tried to kill you, but I didn't kill you in one swipe. Don't worry, you'll all be dead in a minute. It won't matter. I don't need a ton of levels right now because I'm not actually going to do any enchanting. I just wanted to be able to rename a couple things. One of them is a backpack. And then these I don't need to rename because I didn't come up with anything. But all these, did all these get names? Yeah, they did. So then I'm just renaming this stuff. This is E3. E4. Five. 6. 7. 9. Okay, so these ones that have books in them, put those down. And for now, I just want to build a little like mini library next to our farm here. So let's get rid of this. We're just gonna do We'll do like that. Then I'm gonna do then we'll do like this. Let's turn those the other way. And this will just be temporary because it won't be super organized. But we're just gonna grab all these books. We're gonna put them in here. And then as we get more enchanted books, right now we have a place that way gives us a place where we can put them. So if we get them from exploring, we can bring them down here if we're not going to use them right away. If we get them from other sources, we can also do that. Those can be all of our mending books. Those can be all of our unbreaking books, which are some of the most common. So now those 3 boxes are empty. So 6, 7, 8. And then I think we're going to do the same thing here for our heads for the moment. Did I use all the chests I had in there? I guess I did. We're going to grab this. Excuse me. I think I'm going to put it right over here next to the entrance for now. This is just going to be where I'm storing heads that I find. And so we'll do this. We'll go like this. So now I know if I find any heads that are in my storage stuff, for now I'm storing them in the end. Eventually I'll make like a display for them. I was kind of doing that with just a bunch of Enderman heads here, and I'm going to take them all down because I don't like them. But the idea of having like, this is my head section, so I can do like a display for each of them. So I can put like a barrel for each type. And so that as I get more, I can have where to put them. And then I can actually put some of them out for display as like, this is my trophy room. And this seems like a good place for that for now. I do want this furnace to be somewhere in here to be functional. Just in case I want it. So we'll do that. I like to keep a stack of ender pearls in there, so that's good. I got those. Cool. And I don't, at some point I will go in here and fill this up with more tools and more weapons. But what I want to do right now while I'm here is let's put these aside. If they don't have mending, they're going over here, because that means they're unfinished tools and they're being worked on. That has mending. This one doesn't have mending either, so let me grab a mending book. I'll put mending on here. And then my goal will be to eventually fill those up with a bunch of different tools and then get them all with mending on it. That's not. Oh, I don't think my shovel has mending. Oh, it does. This one also has mending on it, so let's get that one fixed up quick. That's fortune, and let's get another silk touch one with mending on it. Does this have, this is silk touch efficiency 5 mending. That's exactly what I want. Put that in here and we'll repair it up. I don't like when I'm in the middle of a project to have to stop and like go and repair tools. So I try to make it so I have like a dozen picks. and then I get them all up to mending, and then I make them all netherite eventually. That way I can just keep working, and then when I get to the point where I'm down to only a couple of tools that aren't completely broken, then I just come down here and I repair everything. It's a good way to do it for me, because that way I can just keep working on projects for long periods of time. So let's see. Silk. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this as a divider in the middle. These are tools I'm still working on. This side is anything with silk. This side is anything with fortune. Because silk is what I need to work. This one has efficiency 5, so that one I could make another one with mending. It has everything I need except for the mending book. Like this one, let's give this one some mending. And that can go on the silk side. Shovel I have here has fortune. This has fortune with mending. Okay, so now I have a couple of each. I have the silk one here, so I have 3 silk and I have 2 fortune. Do I have another fortune that's ready for mending? I do, so let's fix that one quick. Need 3 levels to apply it. That's odd. My notifications just went out saying that I was live. I've been live for a while. Must have dropped. I don't know. I'm gonna do a quick break. I'll run an ad, and then I'm gonna get some liquids and stuff. Take care of that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm back. Did a 3-minute ad, which means we have ads off for a while. Or pre-roll ads anyway. Got a few levels while I was here, and I'm going to just throw some books through our enchanting. Okay. Ooh. 3-minute ad, which means we have ad. Sorry about that. Had my monitor sound turned on. Library. Library. I must have left books somewhere. And then I need the lapis. I'm going to put all this lapis down in here. I'm going to make a chest for it. Oh, there's my books. Knew I put them somewhere. And then I need to do this one. That's what I got the levels for in the first place. So now I have 3 fortune picks. I have 3 silk picks that all have mending on them. I would like to make more picks, but I don't want to do it right now. I feel like I want to go do something more interesting on the street. What did we get here? Smite, efficiency, efficiency, smite, power, fire, protection, and smite. And now that I actually have this all full, it's pretty easy for me to go in here and be like, okay, I have everything because my ender chest is filled. That means I grabbed everything from here. And I don't, it'll make it less likely that I will leave something behind when I leave an area, which is good because I have a habit of doing that. And this is my backpack. We're good. I have my little library sorted. I have my head storage sorted down here, which is what I came down for, which is awesome. Let's head back to spawn, and we're going to start building that mob farm. You know, the thing we started working on an hour ago and got distracted in this ADHD stream. So, for now, what we need are those blocks that I put here. And I need my ladders. I think I'm actually going to make a little bit more. I was thinking about it. I just want to make a ladder that goes all the way up to sky limit. Because why not? That's enough ladders to do it. We're going to do it right here in the center of this one. So, yes, these do mark off chunks, which is what I thought. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so we want to do the northeast corner of that. So that's where we're going to put it. It's just a little thing I like to do when I am putting things in a specific orientation. I usually try to put a block in the northeast corner of a block if I have to put it off of center. The other thing this will do is I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a water tunnel that goes all the way to the top of this, like a water elevator and a drop chute. And then when I'm here at spawn, I can take this all the way up to the sky limit and that will allow me to just fly with my elytra without using rockets and go for a pretty long while without having to actually use any rockets, and I can just coast to anywhere. So if I just go back to spawn, you know, and eventually I will do this at the building that I'm going to build at 0, 0. But for now, I'll have it here, and then I can fly. You know, you can coast a couple thousand blocks from the build height. I think it's been a while since I've done it. Getting up there. I think it's 328 or something now. It'd also be kind of cool to have a platform up here where I can like look around and see the world, because I can see pretty far. 320, that's what it is. I have 32 chunk view distance on, which is as far as I can make it. Found one. Backpack. Crafting table. All right, let's build the ladder back up. And I've made that top out of slabs, that way nothing will spawn up there. I don't know that anything can spawn on the build limit anyway, so I think I could have made it out of full slabs, but it's fine. Eventually we're going to build a slab roof up there anyway, because we don't want light coming down in. I think that might be an issue. I have that, even that little hole might be a problem, but I'll work that out when I come to it, because we're going to be building the mob farm below this ladder. I'm still haven't worked out exactly how I want to do it. I'm still thinking about it. But once we get up here, I can put down some overlays that show mob spawning areas. And then we can come up with an idea of how we want to do things. And we can determine where I want to AFK for it and all that. Cool. All right. So let's start with doing shapes. Let's turn the toggle. Let's turn this on. We can actually remove these. Let's do Ken spawn sphere and a Ken despawn sphere. And this one, let's make it green. I want it to be a brighter green. Okay, so just to get an idea here, in the areas around here, if I was doing it where I needed the mobs to move, the only places mobs could spawn is between this green and red circle, because they can spawn 24 blocks away from me, and after 32 they can despawn. And as they despawn out there, that's not correct. But that is true. They can despawn out there. So any mobs that spawn in that ring will stay there. They'll move around, but they won't despawn at all. If they go farther away, they start to despawn sporadically. So let's get rid of those for a second. The other thing to consider is, and let's see what's in here. This is the despawn sphere. So this is 128 blocks from where I'm standing in all directions. Mobs can spawn inside here. They can also despawn inside there, as long as they're outside that 32 block. So that's where mob spawning happens around the player. So if I build a mob farm inside this area, mobs can spawn on the platforms. They may randomly despawn, but they won't move outside of a certain range. So when I build it as a flushing mob farm, that means that the mobs can get pushed towards the middle, and then they fall and they die. It doesn't matter if they can move at all or not, because they still give me the drop. Which means I have a huge range of area where I can build stuff while I'm AFK up here, and the farm will still work. It has to be at least 24 blocks away from me, otherwise the mobs won't spawn. But that gives me a huge area that I can do it. And if you look down, the despawn sphere doesn't touch the ground. So let's go down the ladder. So because it stops here, none of that area is loaded. Because none of those mobs can spawn. I mean, it's loaded, but mobs can't spawn down there when I'm standing on the roof, because it's more than 128 blocks away from me. So this is at 191. And if I wanted to, I can move that down all the way down to about here, and it still won't be a problem. You can see all this stuff just spawned in because I just came down. And look how quick this stuff spawned. Because it just got loaded, it needed to spawn somewhere. And so that's the kind of spawning we'll have on any platforms we build outside in that despawn area. I'm just working on my target practice. Crazy the amount of mob spawning here. But like I said, that was 100% because we were up all the way at the top and nothing could spawn. So as we came down the ladder slowly and those areas became available to the spawning mechanic, they were the only areas available to the spawning mechanic. So they just instantly filled with mob. Whereas, let's do another test. I want to eat first so that I can. Sorry about that. I had to say goodnight to Gunna. She is going to bed because she is a responsible human who works in the morning and she's not going to stay up all night playing video games even though she has to work early in the morning like me. But I am not that person. I am going to play Minecraft for a while longer. And I'll be miserable and tired all day, all morning tomorrow, and it'll be fine. All right, so I forget where I was at. Oh, what I wanted to demonstrate was, so when we went down this ladder slowly, that area down there that I don't have lit up filled with mobs. This time, I'm gonna fall down very quickly. Oh, a little too quickly. I meant to engage my Elytra before I hit the ground. But if you look around up top there, you can see there's some mobs, but that massive horde of mobs isn't really there. Or at least it shouldn't be. I was hoping to be able to fly directly out and show you right away, but let's go up there and look now. You can see there's a couple mobs in here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a handful. But there isn't that massive horde that spawned when we came down slowly. And that's because when we dropped and landed on this land, we had the ability for mobs to spawn in multiple places, which meant they could spawn on this surface of the world here. They could also spawn in all the caves underneath the world, and they can spawn 128 blocks away from here. But as we lowered our sphere down, that big red sphere, 1 block at a time, there was a point where this little tiny sliver of land was the only place that anything could spawn. And so the game, over the course of several ticks as we came down the ladder, spawned the entire mob cap in that little tiny section. Hope that makes sense. It's a little hard to describe it in text. I wish I could do a better visual of showing it. I might somehow try to find a way to do it at some point, because it's really useful information, and I think it's kind of hard to understand. So a visual demonstration would be helpful for everybody. Let's go back up. And I want to do one more thing to just kind of demonstrate. I'm also kind of like talking it through with myself so I understand what my plans are too, because I don't quite know what I want to do yet. I'm always trying to strive to do something slightly different. I don't want to just repeat stuff I've done or that other people have done. So let's go down here. We're going to grab a couple of blocks. So I want to shoot for around just under 200, so like about 190. I want to build a platform. Is actually how I want it kind of centered on that. Okay, so now let's do the same thing. To remove the despawn sphere, put a new one in, turn it on. Now when we look at this, we're 128 blocks down from the roof, which means the sphere goes all the way to the top. And it goes all the way down to the bottom too, which means stuff can spawn down there while we're standing here. So if we stand here for a few minutes, if I go down there, well, right now it's daytime, so it's kind of lit up. But if I go down there at nighttime, that stuff's going to be spawning a lot because it's there. But it has successfully doubled the area where I can build things to spawn in around me. because of the fact that when I stand here, this despawn sphere goes down to the surface and it goes up to the ceiling. But so let's go and put this up 3 more blocks. Let's configure this and set it on me now. So I can move, but the sphere will stay the same because, and so what that has done is now it has come up off the ground a little bit. It was touching the ground. I don't want it to touch the ground. Let's go stand here. So if I AFK here, there's some stuff there that can spawn on. There's some stuff there. I could dig all that out and remove it. There's a little bit of this island here that can still spawn, but that's all lit up, so it's fine. And it still goes up to the ceiling. Okay, I'm just trying to think of what I want to do. But this should actually probably be pretty full of spawned in mobs because there's plenty of dark spots under those trees. You can see there's a bunch of spiders in there, other stuff. I want to check. I've been getting a bunch of iron while I've been working around here. Yeah, not bad. And how about the mob farm over here? But you can see this is the level where they spawn. So nothing can spawn here because it's too low down. Hey, I got another 24 gunpowder just over the last couple of hours. That'll be nothing compared to what this farm I'm going to build is going to do. Oh my goodness. Did I really just do that? Couldn't do that again if I tried. Oh, okay. Just trying to think the best way to proceed. I think I want to build it kind of like halfway up so that I can AFK at the top to like make it like maximum efficiency. But then I can also kind of just be down here. And if I turn the thing on, mobs can be spawning. It won't be perfect because mobs can still spawn here and in the caves, and until I get rid of all of them, then I can't just leave it running constantly. But I could leave it running up there in the sky and it would be fine. So like just to demonstrate, like if I have these ones here, if I set it here and turn it back on, so as long as the farm is below that point, it'll still work while I'm down here working with villagers and stuff if I turn it on. And I'm gonna have a way to turn it on and off, so that I can do that. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So let's grab some of these. And I have to test it again because I don't even know, because I don't remember, or they may have changed it. But I have to make sure that mobs can actually spawn on the packed ice. So I don't want to build the entire farm and then not have it work because I built it out of blocks where they can't spawn. Because that would suck. So first things first, I got to get up there and figure out where I'm building the roof of the farm. I think that is probably going to be right about where it is, where I already have that platform. That'll be the roof. So when I'm up top, the farm will be below, it will be inside the sphere. And when I'm down there, the whole thing will be inside the sphere too. So if I'm going to build the roof and I want to build this thing eventually 10 stories tall, this will be the roof. It is at 193. So let's just build. We can work our way down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's 4 layers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. 1, 2, 7. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 9. 1, 2, 10. And so let's build the first layer. Oops. Here. And so those are just gonna be markers. I'm gonna build this out like 4 blocks because I want to let's do it like that. I want to have space for that ladder to be outside of the range so that I can have space for the mobs to drop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that's where the water is going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I was doing the math wrong. I was thinking that this would be 64 blocks. If this is... If this is like an 8x8 block, let's say, and this is an 8x8 block, that would make 1 stack here. So it's basically like 2 stacks per layer, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And all I have to do is finish this side. And then eventually I'll make this proper, but let's just demonstrate. If I were to dispense water on here, that water would go all the way to the edges. And then when I pick it up, it would disappear. So this would be... Mobs would spawn here. I would put water down, and in those few seconds, they would all get swept to the edges. Then I would pick it back up, and I would leave it here long enough for them to spawn again. So the question is, do they actually spawn on the packed ice? Or am I remembering that incorrect? Also, it was kind of nice to notice that a bunch of zombies were standing next to my freighters down there, and they were not able to get in. And so, I know for a fact, yep, there we go. I know for a fact that my trader cells down there are zombie proof. Here you go, guys. This is the mob farm. I'm just going to stand up here. Stuff will spawn, and I'll shoot them with arrows. Just kidding. So I want to put this down. I want to grab some blocks. So now we'll get the water, and this is what I was talking about, how nice it is to have water with me, because now I don't have to remember to bring water up here. I always have water with me. I can just put this water back, and we're set. Now I have an infinite water supply, and since I have extra buckets, I can just grab a bucket, and I'm good to go. So what we're gonna do while we're building this, build this up. I think this is the right level. Oh, you know what? This is not going to work where it is. So the question is, do I move this farm farther away? Or do I make adjustments? The reason is I need to have the roof of the farm go out 15 blocks in every direction. And that's to make sure that there's no light level leaking in from the sides, because of the way light works in Minecraft. So I guess if I did... I think it's going to be easier for me to change this one platform than it is going to be to move the ladder. I might have mobs spawning here, so I gotta be careful. There's not. Okay. So yeah, let's break this whole thing. Back up we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and let's go 3 more to give it some extra space on the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? I actually kind of don't want to do it the whole way. It doesn't really help me. What I want to do is go up. This is where the new layer is going to start. I can break this, put water down, which means I know that that'll fill it up. And it also means that mobs won't spawn there while I'm building. And then I can put this the whole way. I started with 64 here. I want to know exactly how many blocks this does, and I'm too tired to do the math. So I'm going to see exactly how many blocks it takes for me to make this next platform. That half of it was 64. I was right on my math, at least for that. But it's a little less than... You lose 16 because these 8 blocks, so 7 plus 7, 14. These 15 blocks are repeated because they overlap each other. And so that's why it's 16 less. So it's 112 blocks on each platform. So if I have 10 platforms, it will be 1120 spawnings. And in my experience in the past, As long as you have at least 1,000 spawning spaces, you can easily hit your mob cap. No problem every time. Oh, I gotta go get more water. More water. Something was wrong there. I didn't finish this side. So when you put water down, it goes to the shortest path. And since I didn't finish this side, that was the shortest. If I didn't just wash like half my stuff away down below. Yeah, it landed over here. Not a big deal. I see you. I gotta be a brat. Gonna have a lot of spawning like right in this area in the future because it's underneath this platform. So it's dark. Let's light it up a little. I always kind of forget how much it changed when they made it so that light level 0 was a thing. Because like you do not need to light up nearly as much. Like you have to light up the same amount of area, but one torch lights up like a huge amount. There you can see the pattern forming as we go. I'm just building all these out, and I'm filling with water so that they are completely covered with water so no mobs spawn while I'm building. Because I don't want to like have it completely fill up when I go down to pick up more supplies or anything. And also that means that I can go through, work from the bottom, and I'll have to bring buckets, but I can just grab the water here and put the water into the dispensers when I get to that point. And I'm just building it in different ways, just keep myself occupied. Because it's monotonous otherwise. But we're like halfway done already, so. I think the first time I ever built this was right after the packed ice came out. It was a long time ago, and there's no way I can tell you who, but I saw somebody do a farm where they used the water to flush mobs out, but they were doing it in like big long platforms, and the natural progression of that, and like this is one of those things where like there's no way to narrow down who made the first video version of it, because everybody designed the same thing at the same time, kind of thing. I am really good about like if I'm using somebody else's build and I design it exactly the same, like I use a block for block tutorial, I will link that tutorial for sure, because it's really useful to me and I want them to get credit for what they've done. But there are some things where there is no way to say this person made this, because a lot of people made it at the same time. But basically what I'm trying to say is somebody came up with this idea, hey, let's use water to push off mobs off of a mob platform, because it'll be faster than waiting for them to do the trick of pathfinding to the edges. And then somebody built it, and they built like a long square platform where there was a drop in the middle. Well, it's not long after testing for you to figure out it's much more efficient if you just have one water source per platform, because the maximum efficiency you can get in getting the water to disappear, which is the longest part of the whole thing, getting the water to go out, push the mobs off, and then disappear again so that you can start spawning again as soon as the pads are clear. The maximum efficiency is this, because you have one water source, you leave it down for exactly how long you need, and then you take it back up. When you have a big rows of water sources, it decreases that efficiency. So like I said, as far as making this farm faster, and people have made crazy versions of this. I've even made a couple of them myself. The efficiencies come in the timing and making it so that they go out and you don't miss even a second of there being a time where there could be more spawns happening, or in the mobs being dropped and killed, so that they very quickly become drops instead of entities, so more can be spawned in their place. The other thing you can do to make it more efficient is fitting more spawning spaces in inside the AFKable area. Now but that has diminishing returns because sometimes more spaces is not more efficient, because if you add 10,000 spawning spaces, but you can't clear all those spawning spaces quickly, you're not increasing the amount of drops you get. You're just increasing the amount of mobs you can spawn. Well, if there's spawning spaces and no mobs to spawn on them because the cap is already full, you're just wasting effort. It's also really complex for people to figure out because it's different if you're playing in single player or multiplayer, because mob caps are different. Because the mob cap is based on, if I remember correctly, it's 70 mobs for a single player. So in my world, 70 hostile mobs will spawn. Once those 70 hostile mobs have spawned, no more hostile mobs can spawn until they despawn. In an SMP server, that number changes based on how many people are actively logged into the server. And that's why I'm sure you've seen, either in your own experience or in watching other people, when there are a lot of people on the server, especially if those people are AFK doing some kind of mob farming, your drop rates will be garbage. That's because those people, wherever they are AFK'd at, have mobs spawning around them, either actively because they planned on it or because they're AFK'd in a poor spot and they just have 70 mobs spawned around them. So you're not getting the full amount of your mob cap. However, if you have it so that people are AFK'd in a proper way, if they're doing something that doesn't involve mobs and they're in a spot where no mobs can spawn, it can actually increase your rates dramatically, because you get their mob cap too, because they're not spawning any mobs, and those mobs come over and hang out with you. So it's a lot of things to factor in and figure out. So like, just as example, I think it was Psycraft where I saw them do it. They actually designed a mob farm that part of that mob farm was getting 10 people, let's say, on their server to AFK strategically in spots where they were not affecting the mob cap, or they were not spawning any mobs, but they were there just for the purpose of increasing the maximum mob cap. And so the farm could be more efficient than a single player farm, because you could hit 200 mobs in the area, let's say, before it stopped spawning in more mobs. And so you could get this crazy drop rates. And I think that's pretty awesome. I also don't think I ever want to do that, because it's such a crazy task to figure out. But it's pretty epic. One hell of an achievement. And there's lots of people that do that stuff, and it's hard to mention all of them. I know Ray from Ray's Works does a lot of that stuff. He has cracked a lot of the code to make it so we understand how exactly something is working. So props to him. I guess my ramble is about, you should always give people credit for what they have contributed, but also realize that, like, it's hard to be like, I'm the one who invented this, because you probably are, and so did 4 other people without ever knowing that you did. Because sometimes there's only one way to skin a cat. Almost there. Oh, this level or this level? It's hard to tell. I think the real progress to be made in Minecraft is in finding ways to make balance to make the game more interesting for you. So however you do it, like if you're a builder or you're a redstoner or you're a mob farmer or you're a explorer that likes to go and find trial chambers and that kind of stuff, the game has a million different things for you to do and a million different ways to do it, and constantly finding new ways to keep yourself occupied. That's the There's no wrong way to play an open world sandbox game. Bow, 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 bow. I'm gonna actually just count the layers because I can't tell how many I've done. I think this is the best way to make them with the ice, because you can just kind of drift across, keep placing them. I seem to make the least amount of mistakes and have to break ice, which results in me losing ice because it falls off. I like this way. It's a nice peaceful method too. Just slide across the ice, placing down blocks. I need one more. Let's check it out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on. Is that? I think one of those layers is not wide enough. Like halfway through. Totally did. Totally did. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh. This layer is correct. This layer is correct. This is the one where I fucked or messed up. No mobs can spawn in that spot. Goodness. Can't believe I did that. I mean, I can. I was almost sure I would do it, but I'm still frustrated because I thought about it. I thought about checking every couple of layers, and then I got overconfident, and I didn't do it, and then I messed it up. It was like, it had to be like halfway through too. It could have been like one layer down. Because every layer after that was wrong. Which is why I had to rip them all out and redo it. This is the one that was wrong. First things first, let's grab the ice up here. Let's put a water bucket back here. I want to recover as much of this ice as I can because while I have a bunch, I don't know that I have it in a ridiculously amount. And so I might run out if I don't grab it all. And I really don't feel like going to get more. You got anything useful for me? No. Thank you for the leads. Thank you for your head. And thank you for the leather. Very nice for you to deliver your head to me. Ooh, there's another one down here. Do you have anything super interesting? Not really. Should hit him with the sword. I think looting affects the head drop. I got a llama head that time. Gray Trader llama head. Awesome. Didn't have that one before. Actually, I want to grab something else down here quick. Starting to remember how to do the flying a little better. Like how to slow down quickly. You come in and you kind of like spin yourself around, it kind of quickly slows you down. You can come to a nice soft landing. No, I'm gonna need that there. Go around this way. Grab more water. Then I'll ladder back. One, two, one, two, one, two, two, one, two. There we go. Now we're back on track. I should have done it this way the whole time with the ladder, because then I could have checked each level as I went to make sure I was doing it right. And you know, you live, you learn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we only have 3 more to go. Assuming that I did that last one correctly. Be funny if like the first one I did after it is incorrect. Okay, so we go up 2 more blocks. We break the bottom block. Place water there. And then now when we're putting ice, it leaves a 2-block gap. That's what we need to be doing. I think that based on my time, I'm going to continue to go until I get the shell of this farm built out. As far as getting all the platforms done, getting the roof put on, and maybe putting the collection system together at the bottom. And then I'm going to have to call it for today. And then the next time I will work on the redstone side of this. And the redstone for this is not super complicated, but I need to figure out, because it's been a long time since I did it. I need to figure out how to do the redstone pillar down the middle to the dispenser. And the key to this is that there is an observer that's faced downwards, which activates the layer below, and I have to remember how to do that. I figured out a really elegant way to do it before. I may look up to see how somebody else does it, because it's been a minute and I don't really want to figure out what's already been figured out. If I do that, I will make sure I credit whoever's assistance I use, basically. Because like I said, when I'm using somebody else's idea, I want to make sure people know that they're the ones who came up with it. It's important to me. But basically, this block will be an observer facing downwards into a dispenser, which places actually, I think I just figured out exactly how you do it. You do a dispenser facing down, or an observer facing downwards, which sends a redstone signal when the water is placed on top of it. And then that signal goes into a dispenser, which puts out water, which then the one underneath it also dispenses water, daisy chaining the whole way down. But I think what I had trouble with it in the past was figuring out a way to get it to do it as I built it. But in the past, I just didn't worry about making sure that all the platforms had water at the same time, because each platform could operate independently. So as long as the timing was correct as far as how long the water was on, didn't matter. In fact, it was kind of better if half of them were on while half of them were off. But you can also handle that by building the farm so that there's 2 towers, which, you know, I may eventually add if I feel like I need more mob drops from this thing. For now, I think I'm going to have more than I need, because this thing is a beast when it's running. Guess I didn't light up the platform down there. See what I mean about how when there's an opportunity for mobs to spawn, they spawn quick. I don't have any torches either. I'm just gonna have to deal with it for now. I don't feel like going down just for that. It's not like there's a lot of spawning space. I'm not gonna have a huge amount of mobs there. Ooh. That could have been bad if I hadn't been paying attention. Or I guess if I hadn't gotten lucky. 1, 2, 3. Because while I don't care if a mob hits me up here, I do not want a creeper to blow up my platform. Ice does not have high blast resistance. It would have caused a serious level of damage to this building. In fact, go down and get more water so that I can place that down as soon as I get it built. Shouldn't have too many things spawn up here anyway, because I'm usually 24 blocks away from all the spots up here. But I'm starting to get to the point where this thing's tall enough that the platform down there is low enough that stuff is spawning while I'm up here. It's kind of funny. We are almost done. One more platform after this one. Uh-oh. You can always tell when you messed up a side because the water flows weird. If it goes all the way to the edges, you did it just right. I guess you could probably build this out of ice too, but I don't know if ice spawns mobs. I don't think it does. And also you'd have to deal with the fact that the ice could melt, causing you all kinds of problems. And you could build it out of blue ice, which in theory would make the mobs drop just slightly faster, because entities do slide faster on blue ice. But since you're using the water to push them and not like something like a piston or something to push them across the ice, I don't know that it would have any difference. If it did, it would probably be marginal, and it would cost you 9 times the amount of ice to build. Might be interesting to try to test it, just to determine if it actually speeds it up in Create. I'm never gonna do it. Don't hold your hopes. It would be interesting. You do want to build the roof up here. 1, 2. Put water there. This one actually gets made out of stone. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks farther. Two, 3, 4, 5. So we already went out 15. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And before I fill that in, first of all, I'm going to turn this up. Before I fill that in, I'm going to go down, grab some stuff to make torches. I do not want this to be dark at nighttime. Spawn a bunch of mobs on the roof. Alright, I have the stuff and I can make torches, so I can fill this in. This is going to take a little longer because it's a lot bigger, but we'll get it done. And this is also going to be a diamond shape. And the goal is that 15 blocks away from the edges of all of those platforms, there is a roof above the farm. And that means because skylight goes down and illuminates every block below it, every block below 15 blocks out will be 0 down from this farm for skylight. And so if we were to just cover this right to the edges, then all the way down the farm, I saw Big Billy Bass brought back board brat. Very nice. Then the light at the edge of those platforms would be 15. So when the sun was out, the skylight would leak in. But since it's 15 blocks out, the skylight all the way to the edge, even with the leak in, will be 0. Which is great. It's just great. You might actually remember the first time I built this farm, Si, because you were there. We built a throne with 3 seats next to it. It had team fire meetings while mobs rained upon our head. So this is the exact center. I remember. Those were good times. Well, I'm out of rockets too. I need to get more of them. But I need to get more stone. That was a nice, peaceful landing. I'm done with the ice. How do I never remember where I put stuff? Stone is here. Oh, guess I'm out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm gonna bring these window back before everybody flew around with Elytra. Good times. Yeah, I was actually just watching a video where somebody was talking about how the Elytra is super OP, and I totally agree. And you can take mine out of my cold dead hands. It definitely changes the entire game. But mostly in cases like this, it saves me time. It's just like, it takes like 2 minutes to go up that ladder every time. Yeah, me and you are definitely different Minecraft players, but that's okay. Minecraft is a game for everybody. Lots and lots of ways to play the game and have a good time. I do feel like there is a lot of things that you can gain by either limiting or denying the use of an elytra. Because, like, if you have an elytra and you use it for everything, what is the point of building a railroad system? And if you use elytra, what's the point of building like a horse network? And so those are things that are really, they can be really fun. And so limiting yourself in some ways that way helps you to encourage you to build those things. Yeah, I think we're on the same point. I think especially like exploring the world for the first time. Like earlier I flew across to get my gear from where I died, and I was literally thinking about how like it's kind of disappointing doing this because I'm seeing areas I've never seen before and I'm seeing them with the elytra. Well, then I saw a bunch of stuff and it wasn't really that exciting because like I'm not like coming across it like I'm supposed to. But, you know, for some people, that may have been the exact opposite. It's stuff they never would have noticed unless they were flying above. Do 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 do. My plans for my Nether hub are going to incorporate multiple different sections that do different things, because I do intend to have a section that is going to be best experienced using the elytra. There's also going to be sections where I'm going to have railroads and horses and things like that, but we'll see how it goes when I get to them. People who use elytra religiously should be fated for all their tacos to be cold. Ouch, that is harsh. I wouldn't give that fate to my worst enemy. I think that there's room for both. I think that, like, you know, if people are like, well, why would you build a horse path because you could just fly? That's kind of silly, because like most of the things in Minecraft, to be honest, are things that like you could say, well, why would you do that? Because there's another way to do it. Especially the building side of Minecraft. Like most of the pretty things you do in Minecraft are not, they're not quote unquote necessary. Everything will work without that. But doesn't it work so much cooler when you have an aesthetic involved? But also there's like beauty in these kind of builds too, at least in my opinion. They're not like fancy like giant castles or massive cities, but like there's a lot of thought and design into what I'm doing. The heck just shut? Oh, it's Elytras. Yeah, I forgot. You need to sleep in this game. Or not Elytras, Phantom. You know what? I should not worth it. I'm gonna say I should take them out because I could use their membranes to repair my Elytra, but I just didn't buy Elytras. Still can't believe you would sentence anyone to the fate of having all of their tacos cold. That's just a cold thing to do, man. You sure you're not a serial killer? Phantoms have elytras, so they should have cold tacos. Do you remember when we played on the vanilla server when I put in the data pack and I didn't tell anybody about it, that made it so that the longer you went without sleeping, the bigger the phantoms got? So not only did you have phantoms that spawn, but like you had ones that spawned like the size of dinosaurs. I know I got Knight with it. Because he was like, what in the hell is that? Yeah. I think he enjoyed it, but yes, it freaked him out like crazy. We've had a lot of good times over the years on our servers. It really makes me want to find a server again, but I really want to play Java, and all my friends want to play Bedrock. It's okay though. I still hold out hope that someday they will make it so that you can play them together. Especially if you can play them on consoles and PC together. I know you can with Bedrock, but not the way I want to. Not the way I want. Oh, some more lighting to do. I feel like this was not even. I think it's because I had that one torch off. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so this whole area is lit up. Yeah, I get it. For some people, it's a necessity because they only have the one way to play it. But I know they talked about making it so you can access private servers on console, well, specifically on PlayStation. And there are ways, though they're not great as of right now, that you can have people on Bedrock and Java on the same server. And so the possibility remains that that could happen. But there's no sense in me building something like that when it doesn't solve the problem of the fact that people on PlayStation cannot access it anyway. Not easily. You take nap now, don't die, but if you do, then I was here. I hopefully won't die, but I'm also going to be leaving very, very shortly myself. Because I'm done with the building here, and it's almost midnight. Next stream, I'm going to do the redstone for this and get it working. And the collection room. Kind of want to do, before I leave, just grab some stuff. Oh, that's right. I put it in my ender chest. I didn't have to come down. But that's okay. There's more quartz down here, and I need more quartz to make more. Anyway, so in here, I have some quartz. In my ender chest, in the tools box. Hey, I'm starting to remember which ones are which. I'm excited about that. Let's go down here to do it. I'm gonna make the observers. I want to just try to do the observers and dispensers, and see if I can't get it figured out without putting too much thought into it. And if I can't, I can't. No big deal. I'll just do it the next time. But I got about 10 more minutes before I want to go to bed. I see you over there, pillagers. Yeah. So cobblestone. Need redstone as well. Do I have more in here? No, it's all in my... If I have it, it's in here. I don't have a lot. I need to do a mining session for sure. Do I have dispensers? I have 2. I know I made more dispensers. Where did I put those? Those are furnaces. I'm gonna go check over at the spawner farm because I know I made a whole bunch the one day because I just wanted to use up some bows, and I may have left them over there. I don't really feel like crafting pen dispensers right now, so if I have them, that's great. If not, I'll craft them over here because I have the bows over here. I should set up a auto crafting farm for making dispensers because of how annoying they are. Proper dispensers. There they are. I knew I had them. You know what? I think I'm just going to call it here, actually, because I need to take a break to go to the bathroom, get some stuff done before bed anyway. So we'll start off next time with doing some more at this farm. We're at day 325. I might push it off and just do a video recapping farther down the road. I still haven't had a chance to do the one to recap at 250. I'm enjoying doing this more as a stream, to be honest, right now, than anything else anyway. So it'll work. But for now, let's call it a day. We got a lot done. We had some good times. I hope you enjoyed watching them. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.